Okay, so I shall now be delivering a statement in my national capacity. Your Royal Highness, Lakshmi Puri for UN Women, distinguished guests and dear participants, and I also want to welcome the participants to this conference who are following this conference and shall be participating to this conference from Malta. Welcome, all of you. So, again, welcome to this second conference commemorating the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. I am pleased that this day is now an integral part of the United Nations calendar. This year we are focusing our attention on gender, science and sustainable development with a particular focus on the impact of the media. This to address the empowerment of women and girls in science and aim to contribute towards the attainment of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The role of the media is very important to strengthen democratic values and to hold us politicians to account. Dynamic as it is, the media's scope and breadth in the digital age has grown exponentially, as can be seen in the rise of social media and its easy access on smartphones and other devices. We thus need to ensure that media works for us and promotes our cause, rather than against us. After all, the media inform beliefs, and beliefs are what drive behavior. Us women and girls have historically, generally, been recipients of news rather than its authors. We were also excluded from science, and we literally had to fight our way in. Marie Curie, Margaret Mead, Rita Levi-Montalcini, closer to home, as well as other pioneers, fought the exclusion of women in their respective fields and won their battles, albeit at much personal cost. Many of us continue to have to do so to this day in our respective educational institutes, faculties, and even the family home. This is especially the case for women who suffer from discrimination and exclusion on multiple grounds due to no fault of their own. The book Hidden Figures by Margot Lee Shetterly, a New York Times bestseller and now also an Oscar-nominated motion picture, perfectly highlights this insidious form of discrimination. Set in the period of the civil rights movement, talented African-American female mathematicians worked at NASA on a crucial role in America's space program. Segregated from their white counterparts, these so-called colored computers used pencil and paper to write the equations that would launch rockets and astronauts into space. Their victory against intersectional discrimination was no small feat. Since those days, things have somewhat changed for the better, but we definitely cannot be content with what we have. According to recent data, only 1 in 6 engineers is a woman, while only 2 in every 5 chemists are female. And there is only 1 woman in computer science and mathematics for every 3 men. At last year's conference, we addressed stereotypes and the extra burdens women face to succeed and achieve what their male counterparts have access to with greater ease. Stereotypes in media against women in science tend to move our attention away from our scientific ability and instead focuses on our dress sense and how we look. However, much like the media can contribute to build stereotypes, it can break them. We thus need to create the conditions for the media to shape people's perception of the world, and in the process shed their own outwardly and inwardly prejudice. Let's not forget that most women my age or older did not get the experience of exposure to science that boys received. Neither were we exposed to female role models in STEM or social science. Instead, we were sent to home economics classes. Of course, home economics is important, and all girls and boys should be taught the subject. But the message there was that we girls were less good at science than boys, and home economics was all that we needed to learn to get along in life. The media reproduced this concept through the roles it assigned to men and women, legitimizing the notion that women are inherently worse at math and science. Thus, I reiterate that ways in which media shape people's perception of the world is by helping to build or break stereotypes. Stereotypes being simply patterns of behavior and characteristics that we attribute to a group of people. There is a large body of research showing that once these patterns are in place, they can have significant effects on a person's behavior and achievement. These stereotypes affect young girls' beliefs about their own capacity and whether teachers and parents expect girls to be interested in and do well in STEM fields. All this has measurable effects on how girls perform in class. Also, when held by decision makers, these biases mean that even when women do have the same qualifications as men, they are still less likely to be hired into the STEM workforce and receive mentoring in order to become leaders and managers in the field. So let's break and not build stereotypes. The media's effective role in this is to encourage the creation and consumption of diverse and empowering images of women in STEM to disrupt and reshape these stereotypes. Role models are of the essence for the next generation of female scientists, and likewise, so are positive media images of us female scientists. In reality, we now know that with all things being equal, girls consistently perform as well or better than boys at math and science through primary school and into secondary school. So, a Twitter-friendly version of my introduction is, women's place is in science. Hashtag make it happen. Oh, yes. Let us spread the word to empower every girl who is told otherwise to have the power to continue to pursue her dream, the princess's dream as well, and determine her own future. Thank you. I wish to thank Razit. I wish to thank the Maltese Ministry for Civil Liberties, Consumer Affairs and Social Dialogue. I wish to thank you, delegates who are here. I wish to thank the delegates in Malta for this conference, and I am sure that we will have a very, very good exchange today. Thank you very much. Thank you.